Hello, hello, hello. It's very sunny here. Oh gosh, hope my cat doesn't push the. Don't push it over. She's about to push my phone over. And I just know, feeling pretty good. I'd like to make a video. Today's topic, transgender athletes. Look at that. Get down the light. So, yeah. This, well, I should actually look. This is me in a dress. You don't often get me in a dress, so. Yeah. That's the thing. So, transgender athletes. One thing I just want to say right off the bat. If anyone tries to debate you about this, or you hear anyone debating about this, it's something that's like a very easy logical gotcha. Usually, because I don't know, debated this or had people try to debate me on this, and they're like sports scientists and that sort of thing. What they always refer to is like statistics and stuff of men. Right off the bat, it's not a great place to be. We should be looking at statistics of trans women in sports. If you're looking at trans femme athletes, because nobody seems to care about trans masc athletes. Trans mascs in general are very stealth, and you know, there are perks, but there's a lot of cons to that too. It's very hard to be recognized as just a trans man, and it's not necessarily a good thing that they can avoid some of this shit. How it goes out to trans masks out there. But yeah, this is mostly like trans femmes, trans women. It's a thing where they'll talk to you about how, men are this much times more like, okay, just stop. First of all, not a man. I feel like if you've medically transitioned, which I will always say you don't need to do to be a trans woman, or a trans man, or whatever you want to be. You don't need to medically transition. But if you have, and say you've been on estrogen and you've stopped your testosterone for a certain amount of time, some would say 2 years, it's whatever. They can decide the number, but if you've been off that for a time and then you have pretty low levels of testosterone, normally trans women end up with lower levels of testosterone than cis women. So, then I think you're all good to compete with whomever, because honestly, testosterone is a performance enhancing drug. I may still have some like latent muscle, like I haven't done weights in 5 years, and I still have some. It's like, you should be pretty into it, but it's not as usable as it was, I will say. When you're juiced up on testosterone, because really that's what it is. It is a performance enhancing drug. It does make you very strong. I'll just say that I'm not strong, because I am strong-willed, but also strong physically in some ways. Some of that's the martial arts I did growing up, that sort of thing. Just being able to know how to apply myself. But I think women can be very strong. But it's different. You have to understand the different types of strength and what men have, and the big part of that, the main reason really is testosterone. Like currently in your system. Not just like latent, like I've got, the skeletal muscles and that sort of thing. Honestly, it does nothing for you. In fact, it can even be worse for you. You're carrying around this big janky frame kind of thing, and like, unless I'm actively doing stuff to get more usable muscle, because right now this is just like not usable. This is just stuff that I've still got because I grew up that way. You're not going to be able to do what a man can do, and that's in the sense of like lifting, that sort of use of strength kind of thing. Twitch muscles are a different thing. There's a whole lot of like stuff that this goes into, but basically you'll hear them talk about what men can do. You could just say off the bat that's just a transphobic way of looking at it. They might get up in arms at you for that, but I would just say like simply, okay, let's talk about the facts that you have on trans women. Because if you do have facts on trans women, it probably comes from like IOC, that sort of thing. Like so, the Olympic Committee did research on this, and they actually found that trans women perform worse than cis women in pretty much everything. Who would have thunk it? Cis women are amazing. Trans women are also amazing, but we have to overcome some things. Like I say, you have this stuff. It's not necessarily helpful. It's a whole thing. Basically, my stance on it is that, I think you can put rules in place and that sort of thing, but at the end of the day, sport is using the social concept of gender. No one can convince me that sport is you actually using the sex, biology, that sort of thing, which in itself is not like a, binary. It's absolutely not. It's not scientifically not. But, it's a social concept. It's a social thing. It's a social gathering. It's a social way of being, that sort of thing. But people don't like to look and listen to social science, right? Sports science apparently trumps all of that because it's like hard science. Bull fucking shit. Sport is a social concept. And we're talking about gender here, not sex. So even if you have some binary, stupid way of looking at sex, throw that aside for a second because we're talking about gender. When your kids playing sport at school kind of thing, they're talking about gender. They're talking about, I play on the girls' team, I play on the boys' team. And it's just about how people perceive you and how you perceive yourself, hopefully, more so how you perceive yourself and how that comes out. But it could also just be how other people perceive you and they put you in boxes. That's a lot of the time how it happens, unfortunately. No, don't knock it over. So cute. I'm definitely going to have to bring her on the screen. My baby. Oh. She might think I'm about to comb her because I've been combing out the fleas recently. But not the case. Okay, here we go. Anyway, where was I? Transpho's bad. Sports science needs to grow the fuck up and use actual statistics from trans women. No one ever talks about like the mental effects. What's interesting, actually, I saw a comment before. I will just end on this because I can go so many directions, but I just wanted you to know my position on it. I think it's important. Especially for kids, it's important for kids. But I saw a comment, I think it's on the weightlifter Laura Hubbard. She was a transgender weightlifter, competed at the very top, I think, but from New Zealand, rep New Zealand, and there was some comments on Facebook. God, Facebook's successful, it's so funny, but on a post about her saying, oh gosh, she's just trying to cheat people out of wins and stuff now that she's no longer a man and all this kind of stuff, but she's competing with a woman and it's cheating and all this kind of stuff. And someone even said that she had a psychological advantage because she had like performed well as as a man, and now it's like, holy fuck, what kind of misogyny is this? But also like the fact that no, she doesn't have a psychological advantage. She has a huge psychological disadvantage. All you fucking creeps out there who are commenting this bullshit and hoping she dies and all this kind of stuff. It's like, do you not see the psychological disadvantage it is to be a trans woman at the current times, trans athlete especially? Like, okay, so that's the thing. And then yeah, she didn't do very well at all. I think she bombed pretty badly. And then what happens? They're just like, oh, shame, she tried to do this and whatever kind of thing. No, trans people are not trying to cheat you out of anything, okay? We do what we do for us or whatever other motivations we have, but we're not supervillains or anything. And I don't know, that kind of stuff is just like, seriously, that's how you want to play it. I don't know, negative generalizations, right? Stereotyping. It's never a good thing. Think about how you think about this stuff. This is what the whole journaling thing is about. Thinking about how you think. Go sit down and I don't know, talk to yourself or someone about this topic. See what they say, and if you listen to what I've said, you can easily see where they're coming from. Like a place where it might not be that they're transphobic, but they've got all the transphobic talking points because that's all that you're gonna hear in mainstream media. It comes from the angle that you are a man, like all the things say you're a man kind of thing, and it's like, no. The stats for trans women are not great in sports, and look, I'm for trans women trying to do better and that sort of thing, but you got to be real as well that we don't perform that well. There might be like a standout person somewhere out there who's like really good, but I mean, look, Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan, all the Michaels. Like literally, you pull out someone who's like an anomaly, and I'll pull out like 10 who are anomaly for cis people, so, or fish people. I don't even know what you class Michael Phelps is. Just lighthearted, but yeah. Anyway, that's my video. I'm loving the sun. So it's my lunch break, so gotta get back to work. Love you very much.